I usually start these Game of the Year lists with a sarcastic blurb about how everybody makes them. But you know what? This year really sucked. I can't think of a better time to celebrate the actual good things we've experienced. Gaming really helped me get through most of the year, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I won't be listing my biggest disappointments or anything like that. No one needs a list of negativity right now. There's really no reason to celebrate a list of games you didn't like, except to try and make a quick buck from clickbait and feed more toxicity into an industry that really has too much already. Instead, I'm simply going to showcase my 3 favorite games that came out this year and a couple of honorable mentions. Let me note real quick, I haven't actually had the time to pick up Hades yet, and I'm still in the process of playing Cyberpunk without a clear verdict on how I feel about it, so neither of them will appear on this list. I want to shout out Phasmophobia real quick because it would absolutely be in my top 3, aside from the fact that it's an early access game, and thus isn't a feature-complete game. That said, it's one of my favorite games this year, which is really shocking because I hate horror games. I'm a huge wimp when it comes to spooks. But Phasmophobia is such a unique experience with its investigative ghost hunting and AI that I fell for it pretty hard. It's truly great because no matter how many times it scares the crap out of me, it is yet to feel repetitive thanks to its dynamic nature. I'm incredibly excited to watch it evolve over time, and it will likely be a contender for my Game of the Year list whenever it has its full release. Are you here? Are you— Ah! Just like Phasmophobia, I've excluded Bannerlord from my Game of the Year list top 3 since it's still in early access. But let me tell you, I was a massive fan of the original, and despite some expected early access hiccups, Bannerlord lives up to it in every way. There truly is no game like Mountain Blade. It has the potential to let you tell your own stories akin to RimWorld, but with fun combat in huge battles. The game has already improved dramatically since my early access review of it. By the time it's finished, it's going to be something truly special. By far the most technically sound game I've played all year, Ghost of Tsushima's incredible visuals, fantastic performance, and brief loading screens were nothing short of some kind of voodoo on the base PlayStation 4 that I reviewed the game on. Tsushima took away the minimap that so many open world games rely on, and I loved that. It also linked much of Jin's progression to exploration, and I found the side content satisfying. Most importantly was the excellent blend of stealth and combat. Tsushima's combat was super smooth and looked incredibly fluid. Once you got into the groove of it, you really felt like a samurai Batman. It was so much fun thinning out the Mongols in silence before diving into lightning quick skirmishes that forced any Mongols left standing to flee in terror. Some balance issues did hold it back, with the game becoming notably easier in the second half, and there was very little emergence in the open world, but it was still one of the best gaming experiences I've had this year. Ghost of Tsushima and Valhalla have a lot in common. Both have a very fluid mix of stealth and combat, and they both link exploration to progression. If you could only get one, I'd tell you to pick the one with the theme you like the most, samurai or Viking. I personally enjoyed Valhalla more due to the greater enemy variety and larger variance in combat, with multiple weapons and a variety of really cool skills. I'm also more attached to the characters. They're more lively and less one-note compared to Tsushima, which all contributed to it taking my number 2 spot. Valhalla really took Odyssey's criticisms to heart and addressed most of them. The enemy variety, smoother combat, higher quality world, and revamped weapon and skill system really make it the best Assassin's Creed game to date. Funny enough, despite its Viking theme, I really felt that Valhalla felt more like an Assassin's game than the series has for a very long time. Its stealth feels very good, and the amount of assassination missions really sells that feeling. My Game of the Year hasn't appeared on any of the major award shows or lists that I know of, and that's a damn shame. The kind that reminds me that we still have a really big problem in the industry, and that problem is visibility. I sincerely believe that Crown Trick would be on more people's favorite game lists if they knew it existed in the first place. It's the most mechanically sound game I've played this year. Crown Trick is a stellar roguelike that takes a turn-based combat system and makes it feel fluid and fast, while still giving you as much time to think as you need. It mixes in the joy of randomness without feeling unfair or unbalanced. The game is all about tactical skill. It combines the element synergy and environmental strategy of the Divinity games into a very cerebral roguelike experience. It's a roguelike with a ton of player choice in how you use that randomness presented to you, and it's so satisfying to play. It's a very deep game that's easy to understand thanks to concise tooltips and unobtrusive explanations. It's the very definition of easy to learn, difficult to master. It features some of the best boss fights I've seen in the roguelike or roguelite genres. Crown Trick is a game that, when I sat down to review it, there was very little that I could find to complain about, and I tend to complain a lot, sometimes about things that people might find nitpicky or petty, which is why I always advise readers to get to know me before taking my reviews to heart. If I can't complain about anything at all, that to me is the hallmark of a truly great game. Crown Trick is my game of the year for 2020. I just wish more people were playing it. So what were your top 3 games of this year? Let me know what they were and why down in the comments. While you're down there, liking and subscribing is extremely helpful, and I've also left links to my website and my creator store down in the description. Thanks for watching, until next time, and have a safe New Year's.